You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Chris Marchese, mining analyst for the Morgan Report, which you can find online at silver-investor.com. Welcome to the show, Chris.
Hi, Jim. Great to be back.
Looks like some economic numbers in the U.S. have people concerned. Jobless claims are up in the U.S. The markets are down, and again, more talk of possible tapering. Well, take a look at the jobless claims first. Was this expected?
No, it was actually a lot higher than the consensus estimates, which I believe it was either 220,000 or 230,000 jobless claims, and the number came out to be 268,000.
And of course, usually over the Christmas season, you have an expansion in the job market, at least for part-time jobs. Didn't happen this time, it looks like.
Not in this report, but you and I have talked, I think, off-air about how a lot of these numbers, like the unemployment number at 7%, that's ridiculous. That is because of seasonal hiring.
And it's not really accurate because, as we've mentioned as well in the past, in Canada and the U.S., the jobless are the people collecting employment insurance. When their insurance runs out and they don't have a job, they disappear. They're not counted as jobless anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people have tried to guess what that number is. Even the former head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I think he estimated that it at around 14%, 13 and some odd percent.
Then why don't they report that? He's the head of the statistics department.
Exactly.
Politically, it's just not palatable, is it?
Apparently not. And, our government just wants everything to go up into perpetuity. Just like we're seeing housing prices now. I'm starting to see commercials on TV about, how to make money investing in real estate.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so something is starting to happen. I mean, I'm not saying there's a bubble right now, but there's definitely the possibility of one currently forming or, will be doing so shortly if this continues.
Canadian realtors have said expect a very good new year as well. And there was just an International Monetary Fund survey that found Canadian real estate is overpriced by 85%, the highest in the world if you judge it by comparing housing price to housing rental.
You know what? My friend did that a few weeks ago. The rent to he did renting a place during what you could buy it for, and it's almost it's nearing the 2007 levels.
Didn't we have a big crash then?
I seem to remember something like that.
Yeah, something like that kind of happened back then. And you also said that the 4 largest U.S. commercial banks have invested a dangerous amount of money in derivatives. Maybe explain.
Yeah, this report came out. It wasn't complete, that thorough in terms of naming the banks, but you could probably guess. And more specifically, the types of derivatives. Anyway, the 4 largest commercial banks hold over, I think it was over 210 trillion worth of derivatives, which is, roughly, I'm just doing this off the top of my head, 17 times the size of our economy. So that's absurd. And you have to think, if that's just the 4 largest commercial banks, what about individuals, the commercial banks that are smaller than that? And, it's probably a lot of mortgage-backed securities still from the 2008 debacle.
So they didn't learn anything.
Oh, no. Lending standards are, banks have tightened them a little bit, but I'm sure they'll go back to being, absolutely ridiculous. You just need a face to get one, just like auto loans are right now.
Sure. 0% financing.
Exactly. Bringing that up, I just got a new car, and the financing was great.
Better deal than the car itself, huh?
Exactly.
What did you get?
BMW. First nice car.
Well, congratulations. A nice smooth ride with some nice initials there. There was something else that you mentioned about the U.S. economy. Some of the numbers seem to be hyperinflated because companies are carrying huge inventories.
Yeah, so the GDP, the second revision came out, and I'm sorry, I forgot the actual number. I think GDP growth for Q3 was 3.3 or 3.6%. It was either one of the two. Anyway, each revision, it was revised upwards pretty significantly, and that was due to a 230 billion total increase in the revisions, but nearly 150 billion of that came from inventory stockpiling.
In other words, you've built it, but nobody's bought it yet.
Exactly.
And I think the hope of a lot of companies is, well, we're hoping for things to pick up. People will have the money to buy our products, and they'll go, as they like to say, flying off the shelves, although I've never seen that. And the one problem is all those jobs that have come back are lower paying, much more lower paying than the ones they're replacing. So the people are not going to have the money to buy that inventory. What's going to happen when that happens?
I actually think it'll happen very quickly, maybe in not Q4, but Q1 or Q2 GDP, it'll just be very weak and show that the growth is just not there. I mean, I've said this over and over, throughout, what has it been, the past 6-7 months, that, the economy is not doing well whatsoever, and these numbers are so doctored and massaged. And, this 3-point-whatever% growth in Q3, I mean, right when I saw that revision, I knew it was bogus, even before reading about the inventory stockpiling.
In China, too, their GDP, their officials have said we determine it differently than other countries. For example, they're including all these artificial cities with literally thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of empty apartments and condos in cities that they have just built with nobody in them. And they're counting that as a huge asset. We probably wouldn't count it as an asset until people actually lived in those buildings.
Well, the spending on building them, we would count. So we would actually count those while they're being built. But
then when they're empty, they become a liability.
Well, we don't recognize that unless you look at the
the carrying costs,
financial statement of the U.S. government.
Taxes on your property.
And the CBO that'll come out next year, which, I mean, we count consumption, though, which is 70% of our GDP, which I don't think should be counted, especially because of how much household debt we have, how much gross federal debt we have. I mean, how does consuming, when you have a negligible interest rate, indicate signs of growth? We should be saving during these times, but again, as we talked about, the central bank is manipulating rates downward, so there's no incentive to save.
Exactly. If you're going to get 1%, you might as well put it under a mattress somewhere.
Exactly. I mean, as well as I, even though you're in Canada, the cost of living is going up much faster than that.
Sure. Our electricity
these
rates
deflation claims.
Yes. And Chris, on the mining front, anything out there that's caught your eye that looks promising?
Not really. These are, great times to buy if you know what you're buying in terms of buying high quality, cash rich companies, primarily, I'll just name a few, the big royalty and streaming companies like Silver Wheaton and Franco-Nevada, or, the top tier gold producers like Goldcorp and, those type of companies that are still making money in this environment. And even if they had to lose money for a while, they could survive it.
Chris, always a pleasure talking to you. Best of the holiday season.
You too.
We've been talking to Chris Marchese, mining analyst for the Morgan Report, which you can find online at silver-investor.com. And you can contact Chris at silver-investor.com. You're listening to HowStreet.com radio. You can find us on Twitter at TalkDigitalNet. Forward your comments to info@HowStreet.com. I'm Jim Goddard.
Silver123.net is a silver saver program designed to be as simple as possible. For as little as $50 per month, you can set up and create an automatic cost average buying program that will get silver or gold sent to your door on a monthly basis. The first step to creating an account is easy. You will supply some basic information. Next, you will add a bank account from which you will schedule your purchases. Scheduling purchases makes saving easy. Silver Saver is customizable and allows you to control the amount and the date of purchase. Once you are signed up, you are then given your affiliate code. Now you can save in precious metals and also market this program. You can use email, web pages, and multiple forms of social media to share the Silver Saver program. Silver Saver will reward you generously with physical silver or gold whenever someone you refer becomes a saver. Silver Saver not only provides you with a share code, but also allows you to place your own banner ad on a website of your own. Silver Saver is one of the best ways to start saving and accumulating gold or silver, especially at these levels. Visit silver123.net and start saving today.